You ever wonder why she lost interest? Even after you gave her your heart, why being loyal, loving, and emotionally open still wasn't enough? Let me break that illusion for you, because the truth is brutal, and most men can't handle it. Women don't leave because you didn't love them hard enough. They leave because you stopped being the man they could respect. You thought loyalty would make her choose you, but she's not wired that way. She says she wants love, but she craves strength. She says she wants loyalty, but she melts for leadership. And if you think emotional openness is the key, think again. She doesn't want to carry your pain. She wants to feel your power. What really keeps a woman up at night is not knowing if she can fully own you, because the second she senses you've wrapped your identity around her, you become emotionally cheap. She can't respect you, and without respect, love dies silently. This video isn't about playing games. It's about masculine truth, stoic dominance, silent strength, the kind of presence that commands more than attention, it commands devotion. Most men today have been trained to trade their edge for affection, to abandon their mission for comfort, to become nice instead of becoming needed. But here's the truth. She doesn't need another emotional partner. She needs a man who doesn't flinch, a man who leads himself first, who doesn't bend for her mood or chase her validation. And if you're tired of being confused, tired of being discarded after doing everything right, then listen closely, because I'm about to give you the 5 Stoic habits that command real respect. Not by begging, not by performing, but by becoming the kind of man who makes her feel safe, challenged, and captivated. Let's build from the ground up. Your new frame starts now. Number 1, emotional control. Let's get one thing straight. Women will test you emotionally, not because they're cruel, not because they hate you, but because it's hardwired into their biology. They test to feel the strength of the man in front of them. They want to know if you can handle pressure, real pressure, and the second you react with weakness, you fail that test. She gets cold, she nags, she challenges your opinion, she starts drama out of nowhere. It's not random. It's her unconscious way of asking, are you stable? Are you strong enough to lead? Most men crumble. They argue back. They get emotional. They panic, beg, yell, explain themselves endlessly. And in that moment, respect evaporates. Because here's what no one tells you. A man who can't control his emotions becomes a boy in her eyes, and she doesn't sleep with boys. She nurtures them or abandons them. You want her respect. You want to be the man she chooses again and again. Then you better learn how to stand still in the storm, unshaken, unapologetic, unmoved. Let's break it down with a real-world example. She walks in with an attitude. She's quiet. You ask what's wrong, she says, nothing. Then she gives you short answers all night. She's clearly annoyed, and you feel your emotions rising. You want to lash out. You want to question her. You want to get a reaction to force the conversation. But that's not strength. That's insecurity demanding control. Here's what the masculine frame looks like. You don't react. You observe. You stay present, grounded, and calm. You don't escalate. You don't chase validation. You give her the space to work through her emotions without letting her emotions control you. And when the dust settles, you address it like a man, direct, calm, and clear. I'm not here to play games. If something's on your mind, say it. If not, I'm not wasting energy guessing. That's power, that's leadership, that's what earns respect, even if she doesn't admit it out loud. But let me be clear, emotional control isn't suppression. You're not bottling everything up until you explode. You're disciplining your emotions. You're training your nervous system to respond instead of react. This is the core of Stoic masculinity. Master your state. Be the calm in chaos. And here's how you train that muscle. 1. Daily cold exposure. Start your day with a cold shower or an ice bath. Why? Because it forces your body into stress and trains you not to panic. When you can stand in freezing water and breathe calmly, you're rewiring your mind to stay solid under pressure. It's not about the cold, it's about control. 2. Breathwork and Stoic journaling. 5 minutes a day, that's all it takes. Slow, deliberate breathing grounds your nervous system. Journaling clears your mind and aligns your intentions. Write down your thoughts, your reactions, your frustrations, then choose who you're going to be. Stoicism is about reflection, then execution. You don't react impulsively, you act intentionally. 3. Walk away. When emotions rise, return in control. This one's simple but powerful. When you feel the fire building, walk. Don't argue when you're angry. Don't explain yourself when your blood is boiling. Walk away, reset, return composed. She might say you're avoiding the conversation. Let her. Your mission isn't to win her approval in the moment. It's to maintain your masculine frame long term. Here's the brutal call out. If she can throw you off with one sentence, she owns you. That's not love. That's control. You were never meant to be emotionally dominated. You were built to lead with presence, with purpose, with peace. And once you start practicing emotional control, everything changes. Your conversations improve, your confidence sharpens, and women begin to respond to you with quiet, subconscious respect. Because now you're no longer just a man chasing her emotions. You've become the man who can hold space for hers without losing himself. That's rare, that's masculine, and that's just the beginning. Number 2, purpose over pleasure. Let's make one thing crystal clear. You are not here to chase women. You are not here to be liked. You are here to build, conquer, and lead. And unless you lock into your mission with ruthless focus, you will always find yourself orbiting her life, instead of making her orbit yours. Because purpose is magnetic. It commands attention without begging for it. It draws respect without asking. But desperation is repulsive. It reeks of weakness. It tells her, you are my purpose. Without you, I am nothing. And that's when she pulls away. Here's the truth. Most men won't admit. They drop everything for a woman. She texts and they cancel the gym. She calls and they pause their work. She's upset and suddenly their whole day is about fixing her emotions. That's not devotion. That's submission. And it costs you everything. Imagine this. You've got a strict gym schedule. You're grinding on a personal project. You've got goals that fuel you every morning. But she wants to hang out. Last minute, you say yes. You skip the gym. You delay your work. What did you just communicate? That your priorities don't matter. That your goals are flexible. That her attention means more to you than your progress. She might smile. She might even thank you. But deep down, you just became another guy who can be pulled off his path. And that is the moment her respect starts to die. Here's what the masculine frame looks like. She's important, but she's not the center of your life. You don't revolve around her emotions. She revolves around your direction. She respects the man who tells her, I'd love to see you, but I've got work to do first. I'm not free tonight. I've got training. If we're spending time together, it's on my terms, on my schedule. That's not rude. That's masculine. That's a man with a spine. Because women want to orbit your purpose. They want to feel like they're following a man who's going somewhere, not a man begging for attention, lost in his need for connection. You don't gain respect by being emotionally available 24/7. You gain it by being unavailable for anything that distracts you from your mission. So how do you lock into purpose and make it your North Star? Here's how. 1. Build a daily non-negotiable routine. Wake up and get into habitual execution. Your routine should serve your purpose, not your mood, not her emotions, not social media. Wake up, train, read, build, work in silence while the world sleeps. Discipline your day so your mission becomes automatic. This is the armor that protects your direction from distraction. 2. Cut out time-wasting relationships and habits. Audit your life. Who's pulling you away from your goals? What habits are draining your focus? Get ruthless. If she's a distraction, not a supporter, cut her loose. If your nights are filled with scrolling, partying, or meaningless conversation, you're betraying your future self. Purpose requires sacrifice. If you're not bleeding for it, you're not serious. 3. Weekly review of progress toward long-term goals. Every Sunday, sit down, reflect, track, evaluate. What did you accomplish this week? Where did you waste time? Did you move the needle or just stay busy? This is the practice of self-leadership. No one's coming to hold you accountable, so you do it yourself, and over time your results become undeniable. Here's the cold truth. She might say she wants more time with you, but she respects the man who's too focused to hear it. It's a paradox. The less you chase her, the more she feels drawn to your gravity, because your life becomes a mission, not a relationship. And that's what women respect. Not the man who's always available, but the man who's locked in, focused, relentless, and unavailable for anything less than greatness. Because when you lead your life with purpose, you stop needing validation and start commanding respect. Number 3, selective silence. Here's something they'll never teach you in school, in movies, or in modern dating advice. Silence is power. Mystery is magnetic. And the man who doesn't reveal everything, he becomes the one she can't stop thinking about. You've been conditioned to overshare, to be open, vulnerable, transparent, to pour your feelings out the moment they rise, to explain every decision, every emotion, every doubt. But let's get real, oversharing kills attraction. Every time you spill your emotional guts, you chip away at the tension that fuels desire. Because when a man is predictable, when a man is fully exposed, he's no longer compelling, he's no longer intriguing, he's no longer masculine, he's just available. Why does selective silence matter so much? Because women crave depth. They're drawn to the unknown, to the mystery, to the man they can't fully figure out. Not the guy who updates her on every single thought. Not the guy who over-explains his day, his feelings, his life. She doesn't need to know what you're thinking every second. She doesn't need your emotional report card. She needs to feel your presence and wonder about your depth. Let's break it down with a real-world scenario. You go out with her. She asks, "What are you thinking?" Most men crumble right there. They panic in the silence. They start dumping emotions. "Oh, I was just thinking about how amazing this is. I hope you're having a good time. I was worried maybe you were upset." And in that moment, you've exposed the entire playbook. You've killed the mystery. You've made the interaction safe and forgettable. Now picture this instead. She asks, "What are you thinking?" You smile, you pause, you look her in the eye and say, "Nothing important," and you go right back to sipping your drink or scanning the room. That pause, that smirk, that lack of detail, it drives her crazy in the best way. Because now she's guessing, now she's invested, now she's wondering what else is going on behind those eyes. Mystery creates emotional tension, and emotional tension creates attraction. Here's the key. Don't explain yourself unless it serves your mission. You don't need to justify every move. You don't need to make her understand everything. You need to lead, move, and let your actions speak louder than your words. The man who speaks less, but means more when he does, commands attention every time he opens his mouth. He doesn't fill silence with noise. He fills it with weight. That's the masculine frame. It's not about being cold. It's about being composed. It's not about being unavailable. It's about being selectively accessible. You create depth by revealing less, not more. You earn curiosity by mastering silence, not by drowning her in dialogue. Here's how to train this habit into your daily life. 1. Practice intentional pauses in conversations. Don't rush to respond. Let there be space before you speak. Let her lean in. Let her fill the silence. The man who pauses before speaking holds the frame. You don't need to prove yourself with words. Sometimes silence says more than any sentence. To avoid explaining your every move or feeling, you don't owe her a play-by-play. You don't need to defend every decision. Start getting comfortable with saying, "I just felt like it. It's handled. You'll see." Let your moves speak for themselves. You're not here to seek approval. You're here to execute. 3. Train yourself to sit in silence without needing validation. Most men speak because they're afraid. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of awkwardness. afraid of seeming distant. But silence isn't awkward. It's a test. Can you hold space without seeking permission? Can you be still without rushing to connect? Practice being alone. Practice long pauses. Practice looking someone in the eyes without speaking. You'll notice something strange. People start respecting you more. Here's your call out. She won't say it out loud, but when you stop spilling your emotions everywhere, she starts leaning in. You don't need to be cold. You don't need to play games, but you do need to guard your depth, because the second she feels like she knows everything about you, the mystery is gone. The story ends. The respect fades. But when you master selective silence, when your presence speaks louder than your voice, she feels something deeper than affection. She feels respect, and that is how you become unforgettable. Number 4, physical presence and self-mastery. Before you say a single word, your body already told her everything she needs to know. Your walk, your posture, your physique, your grooming, it all speaks volumes, long before your voice ever does. And what it says is either this: I'm a man who leads himself, or I've let myself go and I've got no command over my life. Like it or not, your physical presence is your first resume, and women read it fluently. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't need to look like a Greek god, but you damn sure need to look like you respect yourself. Because if you don't, why should she? This isn't about vanity. This is about dominance. Not over others, but over yourself. Your discipline shows up in your body. Your work ethic shows up in your posture. Your standards show up in your hygiene, your grooming, your eye contact. You can't fake it. You either live it or you don't. Think about the last time you saw a man walk into a room and he didn't even need to speak, yet everyone noticed him. Why? Presence, built through discipline, through consistency, through self-mastery. It's in the way he carries himself. Back straight, shoulders wide, chin up, no fidgeting, no rushed movements, just still, calm, alert energy. Women notice instantly, not because they're shallow, because subconsciously, a man's physical state reflects his internal world. If you're soft, sloppy, or timid, she reads that as chaos, as weakness, as low standards. But if you move like a man who trains, eats clean, and walks with intention, she can't help but feel your strength, even in silence. Here's the masculine frame. You don't need to be shredded. You don't need to look like a fitness model, but you do need to look like you give a damn, because your body is the first battlefield of self-respect. If you've lost the war there, good luck winning it anywhere else. A man who lets his body rot is telling the world, I'm not serious about life. And that's how women see you too, not serious. Let's get practical. Here's how to build physical presence and self-mastery, step by step. 1. Lift weights 3-5x a week. Focus on compound movements, squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups. These are the kingmakers. You don't need fancy machines or endless cardio. You need resistance. You need a barbell. You need to fight gravity and build a body that commands space. Lifting doesn't just change how you look. It changes how you walk, how you breathe, how you enter a room. It builds that quiet, grounded confidence no words can mimic. 2. Eat whole, real food. No processed garbage. If it's got a mascot, a jingle, or comes in a shiny bag, it's not fuel, it's poison, and it's killing your testosterone, your focus, and your energy. Meat, eggs, rice, fruit, vegetables. Keep it simple, keep it real. Your body reflects your choices, and every meal is a vote for the man you're becoming. You don't need a strict meal plan. You need standards. 3. Maintain grooming standards and walk like a man. With purpose, trim your beard or shave it clean. Get a real haircut. No more cheap fades from barbers who don't care. Smell good. Wear clothes that fit. Look like a man who expects to win. And your walk, it's a reflection of how you see yourself. Don't shuffle, don't rush. Walk slow, deliberate, solid. Move like you belong in every room you enter, because if you don't believe it, she won't either. And now, the part you need to sit with. If you don't even respect your own body, why should she? You can have charm, you can have ambition, but if you treat your body like an afterthought, she'll treat you the same way. Why? Because the body doesn't lie. It's either hardened by discipline or softened by excuses, and women know the difference. This is the foundation. Before wealth, before status, before even words, your body speaks for you. So build a presence that doesn't just turn heads, but earns respect. Number 5, detachment from outcome. Here's the final truth most men refuse to hear. The man who can walk away is the one she respects the most. Not the one who bends, not the one who begs, not the one who waits around hoping things go back to how they were, but the one who knows what he stands for and won't compromise it for anyone. Desperation is invisible, but women feel it. They hear it in your voice, they see it in your eyes, they sense it when you respond to her distance with fear. When you chase her validation like your life depends on it, it reeks of weakness, of scarcity, of a man who has no options, no boundaries, and no spine. And guess what? The moment she feels that desperation, respect dies. Because a woman can love you, but if she doesn't respect you, she'll test you. She'll pull back, she'll walk over your boundaries, and eventually, she'll walk away. Let's get into a real-world scenario. She starts acting cold, she threatens to leave. She plays emotional games to see how you'll react. Most guys panic. They apologize for things they didn't do. They text more. They chase harder. They try to win her back, like she's a prize and they're a contestant. But here's the reality. The man she respects doesn't play that game. He remains calm, unmoved, grounded. Not because he doesn't care, but because he knows his worth doesn't come from her approval. That's detachment. That's walking away power. Let me be crystal clear. You don't need to be cruel. You don't need to act like you don't care. You just need to stop depending on the outcome. You want her, but you don't need her. There's a difference, a big one. Want is desire. Need is weakness. The moment you need someone else to feel whole, you give them control. And no woman respects a man who's lost control of himself. This is the masculine frame. You don't chase. You attract. You build a life so full of purpose, passion, and power that no one becomes your emotional lifeline. You don't argue for your worth. You embody it. And if she can't see it, you walk. Because your value doesn't change based on her feelings. And if she has to threaten to leave to get a reaction, she already senses she's leading the dynamic. Flip that frame. Be the man who never fears loss, because he has nothing to prove and everything to walk toward. Here's how you train walking away power in your everyday life. 1. Build abundance in life. Social, financial, mental. Scarcity breeds desperation. Abundance breeds confidence. If she's your only source of connection, excitement, or purpose, you're done. Build a powerful social circle. Stack your money. Grow your skills. Learn how to entertain yourself, push yourself, and rebuild yourself alone. Because once you realize you don't need anyone to validate your value, you become unshakable. 2. Practice walking away from comfort zones regularly. It's not just about walking away from women. It's about walking away from anything that lowers your standards. Toxic friendships, dead-end jobs, addictions, comfortable routines. Make this a habit. Every week, drop one comfort and replace it with challenge. Prove to yourself repeatedly that you can let go of what doesn't serve you. 3. Adopt this mindset. I want her, but I don't need her. Say it daily. Etch it into your mind. You can want her body, her presence, her loyalty, her energy, but you do not need her to complete you, because you complete you. She's the cherry on top, not the foundation. This mindset doesn't just give you power, it gives her something rare. A man who loves her from strength, not from survival. Now here's your final call out. She might love you, but if she doesn't respect your boundaries or believe you'd walk, she'll walk all over you. It's brutal, but it's true. And here's the paradox. Most men never understand. The less you chase her, the more she respects you. The less you need her, the more she desires you. Because women don't want a man who clings. They want a man who leads, who stays grounded under pressure, who knows what he brings to the table, and never begs for a seat at hers. Be that man. Be the one who can walk away, because he knows he never walks alone. Let's end this with a truth. Most men refuse to accept. Love fades. Loyalty can be broken. But respect, that's earned. And when it's lost, it's over. You can buy her gifts, write her poems, be loyal to the core. But if she doesn't respect you, none of it matters. Because deep down, every woman craves a man who doesn't fold. A man with discipline. A man with a mission. A man who doesn't need her, but chooses her from strength. This isn't about becoming someone for her. It's about becoming the man you were born to be. So grounded, so unshakable, that respect follows you wherever you go. Start with these 5 habits. Live them, breathe them, master them, and I promise the world will treat you differently. She will treat you differently. But most importantly, you'll see yourself differently. Now if you're done being soft, done being needy, done being confused about why she pulls away, then it's time. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and step into the man you're meant to be. Let's get to work.